Alright. Right. Squeaky chair today. Uh we're live. Got some Daxter music playing because if I play the Xbox audio, it's gonna like feel cut out. And I'd rather you guys have a smoother listening experience. I'm just making sure everything's going alright. That everything's in sync. Because we're going to do something a little different today. You know, instead of recording a video and editing it, I might as well just use the excuse of going live and do something with it. You know? Let's see. There's been a lot of talk about the Kell of Kells lately. And it's interesting because there's a lot to talk about. I'm just going to get everything set up and I'll be back with y'all. Looks like everything's in place, so we'll get on it. So we'll take off the be right back screen because that's a lot of stuff to look at. Yeah. So Kell of Kells has got me thinking. I don't have anything written for this. I just have on my notes. It just says, make a video about Skolas. And I've been wanting to make a Skolas video for a long time. But now that we got Kell of Kells up in here, I want to talk about him, you know? And, I could spend time working on it, or I could just go live and talk about it all in one hit. So, yeah, I got this lore tab pulled up on Ishtar Collective, and we were gonna read it first. So, Skolas the Rabid. He was the main antagonist of House of Wolves, self-proclaimed Kell of Kells, as he prophesizes him, and honestly, he looks the part. Skolas has always looked the part, man. Look at this dude. It's freaking awesome. So yeah. Skolas, a fallen captain of the House of Wolves. He claimed to be Kell of Kells before being captured and imprisoned in the Prison of Elders. The Awoken fought the House of Wolves during the Reef Wars to stop them from rallying with the other houses during the Battle of the Twilight Gap. That's the multiplayer map. When the Queen's Harbingers destroyed Viriax? How do we say that? How do we pronounce that? Virizax? I don't know. Who cares? The Kell of the House of Wolves, Skolas and the two other wolves rose to claim the Kellship. After several dirty battles, Skolas emerged victorious. So after a trial by combat, they decide who would be the new Kell of the House of Wolves. As Kell, Skolas employed brutal warfare tactics during the Reef Wars. Pilot servitors were typically used to man the flight of fallen ships, but Skolas used them to lead suicide attacks on the Awoken. That's crazy. He also used the Silent Fang attacks to attack civilians. This led Varix of House of Judgment to betray Skolas to the Queen, which directly led to his capture. So that leads us to the House of Wolf expansion. In the aftermath of the Reef Wars, the Queen sent Skolas to the Nine as a gift to commemorate their mutual victory. For reasons unknown, they released Skolas and restored him to his catch. Varix discovered that he had returned to Venus, and a guardian reported that he was in the Ishtar sink. So that's where the bulk of the expansion takes place. The Queen thought he was attempting to rule House of Wolves from Simic's Fell, but he was leading House of Wolves into the Vault of Glass. He was ultimately captured by Guardians and placed in the Prison of Elders, where a fire team of Guardians killed him. So yeah, we capture him when he gets into like a Vex installation, and I honestly kind of really like that mission. I replayed it a ton when I was playing Destiny 1. And yeah, so then we kill Skolas in the Prison of Elders. I almost soloed that. It's the highest level thing I did in Destiny 1, and I almost soloed that. Sorry, I just got a message about something. We'll get back in it. Alright. So, yeah. We killed him in Prison of Elders. End of story. Right? Why am I talking about Skolas? Well, Fikrul's on about his thing this season. Talking about how he's gonna be Kell of Kells. So, let's talk about the Kell of Kells. Kell of Kells. Petra. So any other fallen houses hiding he'll try to convert? He may seek to gather the exiles, but they will not follow. They follow none. No Kell, no Archon. What about this House of Rain? The prophecy you keep quoting? House Rain, lost in whirlwind. No survivors, but I keep their prophecies. You think many claim to be Kell of Kells, but none have. House Judgment, closest thing to peace. Hold on, I should do a Varix voice. You think many claim to be Kell of Kells, but nah, I suck at that. But none have. House Judgment, closest thing to the fallen ever known. Huh, maybe you are the Kell of Kells. Looks like Skolas returns to Venus. I'll find the Guardian. Alright, so we heard about the House of Rain. Let's see. What's the House of Rain? It's an old fallen house that's extinct. Let's see, is there an Ishtar Collective entry? Is there only one collective reference? Is this the only reference to it? Can't be. Let's see, Destinypedia. House of Rain was a fallen house distinguishable by the purple cloaks and armor, regarded as the lowest noble house in the aftermath of the cataclysmic whirlwind. Okay. But later they have survived and reached Soul. Okay, so what house did House of Rain become? Because it sounds like they became another house. Let's see. House of Rain. Okay. Though the House of Rain was destroyed, the House of Dusk would later adopt their purple banners and symbols. Okay, so they were just destroyed, and the House of Dusk, which appeared in Red War, which are the elixir that we see in the EDZ, that's the House of Dusk. So it's like an amalgamation of different houses, because we don't see devils or wolves or judgment anywhere in this. So close this ad. Okay, so House of Dusk is the one. So who founded House of Dusk? Who exactly was the one who brought them together? Any Ishtar Collective articles on that? Okay, let's see. That doesn't help. House of Dusk. Let's see. A lot of references here. Let's see. Lore entries. Maybe that'll be better. The Drowned Captain? You once served House Dusk alongside Phison, the Drowned Captain. Did you not? Idle kept her casual tone. His reputation was known by all, Mithrax replied. The Odes say he was a ferocious warrior, Idle prompted, who killed many Cabal. Excuse me. They speak of his bravery. Mithrax fidgeted silently with the regulator on his ether rebreather. Was it not so? She insisted. Phison was incompetent. He once blew us a hole in the side of his own ketch, attempting the rite of 6 hands with a live grenade. He was a fool. He was a buffoon. Yet the Odes are for hatchlings. Mithrax replied, more. Okay, this doesn't give us anything. Twilight Oath? That sounds interesting. Engraved in illuminated letters on the weapon chassis, the Awoken made me. Okay, let's see. What is this? Rusty, the blood quickens. He was once a wolf who bowed to Marasov in good faith. He kept that faith. Wait, is this talking about Varix? He kept that faith, so when most of his cousins defected to Meridian Bay and abandoned it, only when it seemed she was truly dead. But now somehow the tiny Kell is alive? Well, it's nothing. The two-souled prince is dead. The Lightmongers, they are surprised. They wonder what this does to their houses. The group rumbles with vicious satisfaction as they talk. Yevik begins planning his return. He cannot serve the House of Dusk while his Kell still lives. Huh. Yevik. Who's Yevik? Let me just open a new tab so I can search it. Yevik. There's only one reference to Yevik. So who's this Yevik guy? And who's his Kell? He can't serve House of Dusk while his Kell is still alive. Huh. So, who the hell is this guy? You know what? I think I have some lore tabs already unlocked from this season. Lore. So, let's see. I'll hide the browser tab. Reread this. So this comes from page 1, Judgment from the Garden Way. This being a recollection of Irha of the House of Slayers, apprentice of the Baron Kiraskis? This is so exciting. I will translate as best as I can. Ido, the scribe of House of Light. Okay, so we got a book reading from Ido. It was a beautiful day at the end of the wet season, and the waters had risen high in the canals, such that the Palace of Judgment sat on a limned? What's that word? Limned. What does that mean? Oh, like a tinted... Okay. Limned. Depict or described in painting or words. With a bright color or light. So this is like a tinted glass. Okay. Okay, so... And the waters had risen high in the canals of such that the Palace of House Judgment on a limned mirror. My pilot rode us steady between the raised walkways. The banners of the great houses flanked us on either side of the channel, nearest to the landing. The banners of kings and judgment cast long shadows upon us. It was through them that our unity was possible, and we were not to forget it. I had spent 5 days traveling to Reese. Okay, hold on. I had spent 5 days traveling to reach Reese Ath Lodri, and just as long before that, receiving instruction in the formalities and proper courtesies to be observed in the presence of the scribes of judgment. That I was greeted at the landing not by a formal assemblage, but by a lone thin figure, dressed in the flared finery of judgment's officers. Okay. He reached down to help me out of the watercraft before I had to bow, sparing only a moment to dust ether accretion from my cloak. "Vlask, Apprentice Irha," he said in a tone that conveyed I had already eared in some way. "Please hurry." I was led to a side entrance in the house and the walls of judgment, where my escort expertly navigated the maze of corridors that led into a small, unremarkable reception room. We stepped into the hushed silence of stifled argument. There were 2 figures waiting for us in the room. The 2 was dressed in the mantle of the city peacekeepers and ornamented headdresses of the House of Stone. Members of the House of Stone were the foundation upon... What's this? Hold on. Okay, that's taken care of. Where do we left off? Members of the House of Stone were the foundation upon which the city's defenses were built, and I thought then, as I still do now, that the virtues of that house showed in none more nobly than its Kell, Chelchis. Oh! Chelchis, we know this guy. Chelchis. Let's see. The warrior? Is that the one? Chelchis Skolas Axis. Hold on. I think we just got a connection that I think is important. Okay, so in X the warrior, we got a connection between Chelchis and Skolas and Axis. Hold on. So, I am Phylex, once warrior of House Devils, once child of Home Reese, I speak now to Elixnes still scattered. Listen close, there is no repeating. Death to House of Devils, ashes to Home Reese. I cast off these useless things, and I pledge my life to Reese Reborn, to Aramis and her house salvation. I fought many battles and found no warrior above the knife will of Aramis Kell. Together we siege the walls of the Earth City with weapons in every claw. Side by side we spilled life force across the system. No catch was out of her reach. No death could seize her. Even enchained by the wretched Reefborn, she grew only stronger in mind and body. Chelchis, Skolas, Axis, resurrect them all and watch her reduce them to dregs. With her new claimed power is beyond any they wielded, beyond any our people ever knew. And she will grant it to all who unite under her banner. Even now, as lieutenant, I share in that. With her side by side, our bodies thrum with the same ice-cold energy. Energy to drag the great machine from the sky and fortify our new city with its new metal hide. Energy to defeat the wretched of this system and feed our children with the battle bounty. Energy to reign beyond 1,000 lifetimes. All you now hear, I am Phylax, the warrior of darkness. Life to Reese Reborn. Victory to the Kell of Darkness. Glory to House Salvation. This is interesting. So, this lore book in the Garden Way mentions Chelchis, and Chelchis, he's like one of these OG Elixni from before. Let me see. Doom of Chelchis. So this is from Taken King. Right? Chelchis, Kell of Stone. Where is the Great Machine? Where is the Great Machine? Is there a lore tab for the D2 one? Which one of these is it? Is the Adept one? No. Let's see. I just want some information to... I don't want to, like, spitball on who he is. We have found the Great Machine, Mithrax, after Chelchis. Okay, this doesn't seem like it's... We'll keep the tab open. But for now, it doesn't seem like it's that important. Now, we'll finish reading this lore tab, and then we'll get into who Chelchis is. She stood twice as tall as her, limbs as thick as the support beams above us. I could have believed any number of stories about her. The second figure was clad in a void black cloth and a pytha hide crest. The absence of house symbol marked her as a baron of the Order of the Slayers. The Slayer Barons had tamed Reese back when it grew wild and disordered in the first century of the Great Machine's ether flood. First Reese, and then the moons beyond our sky, which were often hostile to us within the hatchling schools. Where's my music? Oh, my headphones were down. Okay, the music was still playing. Sorry about that. Okay. I did not think so highly of the Baron Kiraskis when I saw her. Leaner than Chelchis, but twice as scarred, until she raised her head and I saw the gleam of her eyes beneath her cap. There was a feverish cunning in her scrutiny, You brought a hatchling, she complained. I felt a hot, familiar resentment and desperation. It was more important than anything that she not turn me away. I have been 2 solar cycles studying, I pleaded. I think Chelchis here has carried clutches for longer than that, said the Baron. Chelchis' irritated tolling would have withered me in my shell. Were it directed at me all the time, I felt a sick humiliation for having been slighted in front of her. Nearby, the judgment official bobbed his head in disapproval. You have been assigned what you require. When was the last time you needed to be summoned out here? That our peacekeepers cannot handle matters. Apprentice Irha will suffice. Interesting. Caraxes gave little indication she heard the official's word. What is your house? She asked me. This moment was inevitable. I do not have one. It occurred to me last night that I might have been brought here as an insult. Caraxes regarded me steadily. We can't all be kings. The official rubbed his hands together in agitation. It will be quick work, Baron. Travel to the farm of Haxus and dispatch the animal that troubles him. If you require reinforcements, send for the support of a house. Caraxes grunted and turned away. I began to bow and felt her claws latch onto my arm, like a star-steel cuff, pulling me from the room. Be careful, Slayer Baron. The small chimes of Chelchis. Edrises? Small chimes of Chelchis Hedrises rang softly as she turned her head. I did not see the gesture Caraxes made in response, but I heard Chelchis' amused hiss. So this guy's laughing. Number 1, veins of Reese, or the channels through the body of Reese. One city of many. Oh, this is like marking what these things mean. Okay. So, the famed House of Stone, in reference to Chelchis. A vicious predator native to Reese. Which predator are we talking about? Number 3. Let's see. Paita hide. Okay. So just an animal. To click a warning at an elixir that they can feel in their shell. I bet humans can feel the vibration in their sternums. I was going to translate everything very literally, but Varix told me I was ripping the soul from every word. Please forgive me some poetic license. I describe House of Light. Okay, so this one's important, I guess. But it brings up Chelchis and his involvement with deploying Slayer Barons. Huh. Okay. So let's see. So Chelchis. Where can we find something that mentions him specifically? Listener, open your ears. These are choices. I will not act for you. I can only help by giving what I have left in my voice. Taranis. Okay, this is about the witch, about the season of the wish. A Dreckham patrol in the water. The depictions of thousands of eyes. Tree tall enough to lift themselves out of the water, to take their house by skiff and catch back to their first home. A hero crowned in the honor like Chelchis. A dreg. A dreg? What is a dreg? Okay. Da. Okay, this is a Reddit post, so I don't know what this is going to be about. Will society always be based on violence? The value of a direct life. But what's a Drek? This isn't saying anything about... Okay, hold on. Made me think... It apparently turns out that coincidentally the word Drek, based on this, literally means serf, commoner, peasant, or vilvain. Villain? Okay, so this is in... Okay. So this is probably a dreg. This passage probably refers to a dreg who's... What's he doing? Stump itching under docking caps, and he's wishing for growth. They picture themselves with 100 arms and 1,000 eyes, a spine like a tree, tall enough to lift themselves out of the water, to take their house by skiff and catch back to their first home, a hero crowned like Chelchis. So this is coming from the perspective of Tyrannus. Tyrannus drifts through Venus's atmosphere on albatross wings. The Vex are a dull prickle, a flat, endless way. Tyrannus will make no bargains with them. Okay, so this is Tyrannus. This Lord Tab is Tyrannus flying around Venus, looking for someone to grant a wish towards. So I don't think this is gonna help us. Alright, you know what? I can't find anything that's gonna go directly to what I'm looking for. So I'll just say it. Fikrul's back, right? We all know that. Fikrul wants to be Kell of Kells. Who else wants to be Kell of Kells? Wanted to be Kell of Kells. Skolas. Skolas? He's dead. You know what I've always said that they should do? Scorn Skolas. Scorn last. You know? Is that impossible? I feel like it could have happened earlier. Because, like, if we killed him in Prison of Elders, like, he could have just resurrected him back then. But maybe he didn't want competition. But maybe now that he has the Echo, he might have a little bit more ambition for that. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I think Skolas could be coming back in a really weird way. I don't know how, other than Fikrul just resurrecting him. But we know that Skolas has something to do with the 9, right? And the 9, can the 9? Let me see. Because the 9 have their fair share of predictions about the universe. So, did they... The 9 are coming back. It's a Destiny video from Evase. The 9. So here's the thing. The 9 seem to have an ability to predict the future, right? And while they might have... Like, yeah, they probably saw that they were probably gonna kill Skolas as soon as they got him out. But, could it be that part of the prophecies could be that they knew that he was gonna be essential to, like, the war for the Kell of Kells? I mean, they could be trying to establish a Kell of Kell that could benefit them. You know? You know, the 9 connection. Vesper's host. We don't have anything about Vesper's host yet, but if there's anything about the Nine and something that involves the Exos, it could be an important connection. I don't know. I think there's a lot of candidates that we could have that could be Kell of Kells. Because here's the thing. Let's talk about Taniks. Taniks, this guy, he's not really Kell of Kells material, but it's kind of important to recognize that the Elixni revere machines, and Taniks has become one with machines on multiple occasions. I mean, most of his body is machines. You know, if we look at him, right? I mean, he was worthy, he was important enough for the Devil Splicers to want to resurrect him. So, and then he was important enough for the House Salvation to resurrect him in the Deepstone Crypt. I mean, what better way to, like, impress your people by subverting death? By subverting death so many times. I mean, it's not an impossibility to think that Taniks could be a Kell of Kells candidate, just like Skolas if they were to resurrect him. I mean, there's plenty of people that already took him serious enough, and I don't know if... Okay, there's a connection here between Skolas and Chelchis, right? Was Skolas part of Old Reese? Was Skolas alive on Reese? Or was he already a hatchling when they were... It's important to know because it makes me wonder, is he possibly as old as Aramis? I mean, if they were to bring back Skolas, come on, his model's already in the game. They've used them a few times already, so it wouldn't be it's not out of the question that they could bring him back, you know? Huh. It's interesting. But this is... Show me Skolas. Could Skolas have been a Slayer Baron? Regarding Skolas. Kell of Kells, Skolas, a true nightmare if I've ever seen one. I apologize, my queen, if the mention of his name unearths any foul memories. I know the toll it took on the Awoken when he waged war. Skolas' ambition was nothing if not relentless. In certain regards, I almost respect his sense of duty to his people. He was ruthless in his quest to lead his followers to glory. After his final revolt inside the Prison of Elders, the Guardians banded together to thwart him once and for all. Until today, when darkness summoned a nightmare of him. I fear we may find ourselves in Skolas' place, shackled and bound, deprived of our friends and followers. Yet we cannot abandon hope, no matter how freeing it may be, to just give in to the darkness, to give up, to feel no more pain. No, Skolas was grueling to defeat. We must be the same. We too shall adapt and become ruthless in hopes of staving off darkness. I feel the same sense of dedication to my people as Skolas felt for his. Death itself will have to claim me to end my campaign. The weight of this mission is not overwhelming, though it feels heavier with each step forward I carry on. Okay. So this is like a briefing about Skolas. It was at Twilight Gap. Aramis was at Twilight Gap too, wasn't she? So, the fallen House of Wolves were making their journey from the Jovians to the Earth. They stopped at Ceres in the Reef, where Marasov intercepted them. This prevented the House of Wolves from taking part in the battle and culminated in the Reef Wars. Okay, so Skolas wasn't there because the House of Wolves was intercepted by the Awoken. Okay. Let's see. Whoa, wait, what is this? A Reddit post saying, is Skolas still alive? Why do they have this question? Last I heard, after he was defeated by the Guardians, Marasov gave Skolas the 9. No, that's not right. Mara gave Skolas the 9, and then the 9 released him, and we killed him. Okay, so yeah, that's just someone that was confused. They weren't really having a theory, but still. Okay, this tab is useless. We can close that. So we know we're gonna see Deepstone Crypt type stuff this week, because Atrax 1 is back, or Atrax 2, Atrax 0, I don't know. Let's see. There's a lot of Atraxes in Deepstone Crypt, so maybe this is gonna be like Atrax 50 or something? Who knows? Aboard the Morning Star. Oh! Okay, look at this. So, Vesper. In the video I made, I covered the definition of Vesper. And Vesper, it can mean evening star. Look at this. The evening star. So this must be the other side of it. So maybe that derelict Bray station is gonna be on the other side of the portal. Like it's counter to the Morningstar space station. Okay. A Kell cut off his arms. He built himself new ones. Then he killed the Kell with them. Okay, so I think discussing Taniks might just get us into circles. So we're gonna close on Taniks, even though the Siva stuff might be interesting, cause over here when they mention Chelchis, he's connected to Skolas and they mention Axis. which connects into Skolas and Chelchis. So, Axis, Archon Prime. He's the final boss of the raid of Rise of Iron. The Archon Priest, who was responsible for getting the Siva crisis started. So, this is interesting. Is there anything about him that says that he could be the Kell of Kells? Because if he's supposed to be like in the Perfection Complex, I mean, it would make sense if they viewed him as some sort of Kell of Kells, becoming one with machines and all. Let's see, Ishtar Collective, what you got for me? See. Axis is the fruit of the Devil Splicer's labor, a former Archon priest. Axis has submerged himself in Siva's apotheosis and emerged as Archon Prime. All that he was is gone. His dreams, his hopes, replaced by agency. He has shed his gods and his ether like skin. In his uplifted state, he waits in the Perfection Complex for offerings of Siva from all fallen. So, I mean, they offer the Devil Splicers offered everyone else to become gods, basically, with Siva. And if he's the leader of them, he must be considered their Kell, I guess. They made offerings to him of Siva. Not sure what to say about this one, but I think Axis could be another guy that's a candidate. That was a candidate for Siva. But I mean, like, come on. Here's the thing. Atrax 1 is back. Tanix has come back a million times. You know, nobody stays dead in Destiny. Nobody. So, like, I don't know. It could be possible. I mean, how many times can they recover really Tanix, right? This guy died once. And I guess he blew up real bad, but still. It's like, can't be unrecoverable. That's a big, large mass of Siva that was on him, and I guess he was mostly machine at that point. But I don't know. It could still be that, you know, death is a metamorphosis, right? I'm not sure what else to say here. But I don't know, Skolas, I'm really suspicious about Skolas because I don't know, he could come back as an Exo, he could come back as like a Mecha Fallen or something, or because Tanix was dead for a while before they brought him back. And if Atrax is back there in some kind of Deepstone Crypt kind of thing, she might be building something in there. Something that might have taken a long time. Is there anything cross-referencing Skolas and 8 tracks. Yavik. Wait, that sounds like Yavik. Where is he? We read Yavik earlier. Yavik. Yavik sounds a lot like Yavik. There's a lot of characters that go through different types of names throughout Destiny's history. So maybe Yavik could be related to this? Yavik, Wolf Baron. Serve him. He is Kell of Kells. Yavik was a mirror lieutenant of Skolas during the Reforce who evaded capture during the Cybele Uprising. After Skolas returns to the House of Wolves, he named Yavik a Baron to reward his loyalty, and sent him to Earth to be his negotiator with the House of Kings and Devils. Did we kill this guy? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that someone defies death like that. Let's see. Okay, so Yavik, he cannot serve House Dusk while his Kell still lives. Is this it? Okay, so this is kind of crazy. So, if my theory is that we could be seeing a return of Skolas one day, then this Yavik guy could be the answer to it. Because this guy, he was sworn to the Kell of Kells in Destiny 1. This is from House of Wolves. And then this, the Twilight Oath, this is from Forsaken. So it could be that they're offering him a place in House of Dusk. And if Yavik begins planning his... As they talk, Yavik begins planning his return. So... Okay, so this guy might have been a wolf. If Yavik is the same as Yavik, then... Okay, let's search for Yavik. Are there any other references of Yavik? Because there's only one reference of Yavik. The ruling house? House of Wolves. Okay, so this is a mission from Destiny 1. This is a transcript. Paskin, King Baron, Vekis, King Baron, Yavik, Wolf Baron, Paskin, King Baron. The wolves are dead and the kings, well, they're still a danger to the city. But at least they don't work for Skolas. I call that a win. If kings defected House Wolves before attack, Skolas may have met his match. So it doesn't look like Yavik is in this mission, but he's mentioned. But this is important. Yavik crouches over a battered radio that they've jury-rigged to bypass Vanguard security overrides. He listens closely while the rest of the scouting party watches and waits. None of them speak the human tongues, so it falls to him to translate the news. He's rusty, but he can make out the main beats. Queen Marasov is alive. Prince Uldren is dead. The Awoken are calling for aid. His blood quickens. He was once a wolf who bowed to Marasov in good faith. Okay. He kept that faith when so many of his cousins defected to Meridian Bay and abandoned only when it seemed that she was truly dead. But how? The tiny Kell is alive? So, okay, so Yavik is sworn to Marasov. Yeah, I didn't read all of it. So now I read all of it. Okay, so Yavik, I don't know, just that the names are too similar. If they were both wolves... Could he have... Golas responded to the House of Wolves. He named Yavik a Baron to reward his loyalty. This whole for instead, Lightmongers they are surprised. So this is taking place after Forsaken. It's a Forsaken weapon after all. This kind of falls apart the theory then. If he's waiting for a Kell. We don't know what this Yavik guy is. Is he a captain? What is he? This is the only reference to him in the whole thing. And then this is the only reference to Yavik. Huh. Yeah, this is a little frustrating. What do we do here? So... who's gonna be Kell of Kells then? It's not gonna be Skolas. Because Fikro says he's Kell of Kells because he has command over... He was brought to life with that Ahamkara wish. They've been deemed darkness for so long, but now they have light. They're using light to turn Elixir into undead. Which I guess they're... Huh. Does becoming Kell of Kells mean you have to, like, subvert death? Because if Aramis is a candidate, she technically subverted death by being locked in stasis all those years. Remember? Because she gets caught by the witness at the end of Beyond Light, and then they break her out for... They break her out in Season of the Plunder. Search. So, we already read Skolas. Do they think of Mara as a possible Kell of Kells? Because she took control over the House of Judgment and Wolves for a while. Well, not Judgment. Judgment was just working with her, right? She controlled House of Wolves. Yeah, look, Varix declared Sov Kell of Wolves, advising the fallen captured at Sibel to pledge loyalty to her. When the wolves rebelled, Mara opened the Vestian outpost to the Guardians and asked for their help in hunting down the remaining wolves. Through Eris, Mara learned of Oryx, taken king, and began devising a plan to defeat him. Okay. Following the capture of Skolas, Marasov invited two people to the reef to discuss the arrival of Oryx and their plans to end him. Based on the description, it is possible that they were Eris Morn and Osiris, although this is not confirmed. Okay, what is this? It's like a summary of Marasov. No mention of no Kell of Kells here. Revenant? Let's see. Is it spoiler? I'd rather not get spoilers or anything. I want to figure this out as it unfolds. I think I've read this one for another video. You know, I can't remember if I did say it or not, but I think in that subclass video I might have mentioned how Skolas could come back as like Scorn. I'm not sure where else to go with this. This is I feel like I'm going in circles. I was hoping to find something more useful, but there's so many. Let's see. This made me think, when they said the Great Machine Traveler would crown a mighty warrior as Kell of Kells, does that mean they'll become the first Elixir Light Barrier? And could it be Mithrax or Ido? Please, P.S. I meant to say Kell of Kells prophecy. So this is I found a Reddit thread from like 2 years ago where they sounds like they're talking about it. Read the House of Rain. Where do we see the House of Rain was? House of Rain became 20 fallen houses hiding. We'll try to convert. Okay, we read this one. I don't know, there's a lot of people that could be Kell of Kells. But like my best bet is like I don't know how you can keep on talking about Kell of Kells and not think about Skolas. It just feels like it's probable. Is it Kell Rising? What's in Kell Rising? Yes, Petrovenge. Yes, my lady. A guardian got eyes on him and they start to think. I used ghost telemetry to find him. Same pelt, same awful voice. We drove him from the Winter's Lair. How did he... And you would have me consider this a success? What of Winter itself? Your report is unclear. You are correct, my lady. I would not call our mission a success. Skolas managed to win over, well, a substantial number of Winter soldiers. I've taken up the wolf banner. He calls himself Kell of Kells now. We found him once, we can do it again. I have a plan in place. As soon as the guardian returns, then go, continue the hunt. Okay, this doesn't really give us anything. Are these all Destiny 1 stuff? It feels like this stuff is just too old to reference at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but like... Because if Aramis could be Kell of Kells, then... What else do we got on Aramis? The visionary? For several months of his freedom, Aramis curses Mithrax the Forsaken. He has a wish to be Kell, a captured traitor, a four-armed dreg cringing before a false queen, playing pretend among the enemies of Elixir, and worst of all, the most humiliating, he has beaten Aramis. She failed to acquire the Siva weapon, failed to shame the Guardians, failed to reignite the fires of the House of Devils. Her failure haunts her. Now she sits in the bridge of her stolen ketch, straight spinned, staring at some distant point that she has long passed, one she can never return to. Atrax, youngest of her council. Atrax is coming back? She closes the gaps between them. My Kell, she says. She has the voice like a child. Aramis is quiet for a bit longer than she needs to. Finally, she says, "You're too young to remember the old house. What the devils were before." Atrax bows her head out of respect. "This failure has no sting for you." Aramis bites, bitter. Atrax keeps her head bowed, then slowly she raises it. Her eyes dart over Aramis's face, searching. "I am too young to remember." She agrees, "But my eyes are clear. I can see what the devils will be." Aramis opens her mouth to remain Atrax of her place, and then pauses. Something in her mind is unlocked. She stands to her full towering height, stretches her second set of arms. "No," she says. Clarity has descended on her like a Reese rain shower. The devils are nothing. She begins to walk out of the room, purpose in her step. Fire reignited in her belly. The devils are dead. House of Anarchy, House of Ruin, House of Aramis. We must become something new. I wonder how important clarity is here. Because as we know in Beyond Light, we go into the Deepstone Crypt, and they worked with the Exo stuff, and you need clarity to do that stuff. Is this Aramis saying it, or who's saying this? Something in her mind is unlocked. She stands. No, she says. Yeah, this is Aramis talking. She was called Therese, I guess. So, was she being spoken to by the darkness to go to Europa? Because the spiky stasis stuff, that's a new look for when she gets to Europa. Huh. I don't know. I just was never convinced that Mithrax would be Kell of Kells. Because, like, honestly, after Season of Plunder, you just start thinking, like, yeah, Aramis is no longer who she used to be. So, there's a chance that she could just be becoming, like, a redeemed character in some way. Huh. So, I don't know, we're just gonna have to see. What does page 2 say of this lore book? We haven't read that yet. Your older brother plays that, Cowabunga? Yeah, it's one of my favorite games right now. I just play this a lot. Let's see. The Garden Way, Chapter 2. Fields. Caraxes stank strongly of seagrass and sun-soaked root. I took care to sit toward the front of the watercraft, but the odor wrestled powerfully against the wind. I did my best to focus on the task I had been given, which was to mix the contents of the 3 flasks into a 4th. I prided myself on the steadiness of my hands, and the work was not so difficult that I could steal glimpses of our route. So they're making tonics here. We followed the river as it skirted the sprawling residence district, and then turned and cut through. Is this relevant to what I'm saying? I don't think this is relevant. Wait, House of Rain. The farms of the House of Rain were among the most splendid on all of Reese, and the quadrant assigned to Baron Haxus has no exception. They were great swashes of forest, carefully hemmed and controlled, arranged neatly around cropped fields. Jaco, I think you've been talking to yourself for an hour. Hey, talk to yourself for enough, and someone's bound to listen. Right, let's get back to it. Arranged neatly around the crop fields, it could not have been done without the machines. Baron Haxus had a fleet of them, small autonomous drones that moved about planting, harvesting, and measuring ether uptake. The sound of their toil was that of wind across grassland, 1,000 small tasks undertaken without rest or complaint. For all this, the farm was strangely absent of workers. There should have been at least a few machine tenders monitoring the proceedings and providing the maintenance and direction. Nor did any guards come to meet us as I lashed the watercraft to the dock. We stepped out onto the sun-fed walkways graced by beautiful leafy plants. Caraxes pointed to the bag of supplies, and in my eagerness to prove my strength, I gathered all of them. They were heavy, and by the time I managed to follow Caraxes to Hax's doorstep, I felt as if I were pinned to the earth. Have we heard of Caraxes before? I spelled that wrong. Kiiraskes. Zero results for Caraxes. On Ishtar Collective. Huh. Let's keep reading these. Considering the lush abundance that surrounded it, the round building where Haxus kept his office was sparse and joyless. The sole decoration was 2 twin sets of blades. He kept on one wall, a memento of the Edge Wars. I have seen dozens like them through my upbringing, only some of them genuine. More interesting was the drone on the desk, which Haxus seemed to be in the process of repairing. It was a hybrid reconnaissance defense drone called a Shank, the kind that became popular during the war. Not many Elixni still possessed them in peacetime, but such an interest suited a noble Haxus. Oh wow, I didn't know about that. Haxus was dressed in the rich hues of rain. He was of a height with Caraxes, if slighter in build. Slighter? And stiff in his bearing. I bowed low and formally through the weight of my houseless statues. Caraxes reached out and lifted me bodily upright by the carapace with more. I sent for slayers. He looked at me, and I felt my shell itch. So we've come. Caraxes spread her hands untroubled. So we've come. The House of Judgment mentioned an animal. No, I told them. I told them many times, this is not an animal, Haxus said. At his side, his claws clenched into his fist, one after another. It is an old evil. Okay, old evil. I looked up at Caraxes but found no sign of her thoughts. Her mandibles clicked quietly. You've seen it? Axis sagged then, as if already weary of conversation. It attacked my people. I tried to recover the bodies, and then the House of Judgment took its time. Do you know where it is now? No, nothing. Nothing can hide on this farm without the sensors tracking it. The tracks are just as well tended, but there is a garden way between. We were letting that grow, rewild for a few cycles. We'll track it down. Tell me where the bodies are. I felt relieved to hear her speak of us as we, but we didn't last long. Even as he brought up the displays and maps to guide Caraxes, Haxus kept staring in my direction, and I realized he did not expect me to survive. Huh. Is there anything else from this season? No, it doesn't look like we have anything else right now. But, what's going on? What are you guys talking about in the chat? Transformers doing a collab with Naruto. I saw! It's crazy. Goes with that Ninja Turtle stuff they were doing. So... kinda crazy, all this. So they didn't give us any more information about Kell of Kells. But... you know what? I already have some of the armor in-game. Turn the shadows against themselves. His knee had grown stiff under his desk. Zavala initially ignored it, let the pain burn in the side of his knees, seized the top of his calves. His leg had grown stiff countless times before, but this time, this early in the morning, this soon after sitting down, was something else. He moved his chair back and considered his knee. What had he done to hurt it? He had not exercised yet. He had not gone on his usual patrol. He had done nothing. Why would a knee hurt from doing nothing? The riddle dissolved. He started to age. Oh no! Zavala's getting too old for this. Zavala anticipated this parting. And Zavala anticipated this. Part of Morning Taj was preparing himself to furiously resist the inevitable physical breakdown. He'd calculated how to negotiate with his own body, subdue it to stoicism, and make it follow his sturdy command. But what he had not anticipated was how he would feel. He ought to feel dread, terror at the evidence of his immortality, but instead, he allows a hand to rest on his aching knee, to venerate it. He feels it solid under his palm. It is his. It is real. It is both portentous and precious. He is aging. He will age. An absurd and joyous thought warms in his chest. How fortunate to have lived long enough to grow old. How invaluable. To make the space between himself and the horizon matter. How much time is left? Well, we ran out of music. See, what do we look for? Okay. So, let's see. What did I leave out? He will age, an absurd, joyous thought forms his chest. How fortunate to have lived so long. He's happy he's getting old. He's grateful for it. and is it best spent with his knees under a desk? Zavala. Ikora stands in the doorway, hundreds of years of knowing each other too well, draws her to his seat. His expression softens as he stretches out his knee. Ikora watches his readjustment and smiles sadly, the same way she smiles when older mortal friends grow old. The commander sighs, but with content assurance, not heavy resignation. He looks at his friend. I think I'd like to go on leave for a week. Ikora nods, then half smiles. How about 2? He wants to enjoy his life. He wants to enjoy his life and he wants to take a day off. Let him. Let's see, do I have anything else? I have the Shadestalker hood. Ulantan was right. Salvation's Annals. Annals? How do you say that? Servitors and Nerex. Perception feed dump. Filtering high speak. ER. The call for aid is sent. Conversation is over. IX. Like 9? You owe me answers. You owe allegiance to our Kell. Prepare your nest for evacuation. They will kill you or worse. A cost I will gladly pay. Our people will not survive the scorn on our own. Wait, Aramis? ER. It has to be Aramis. But in what state shall we survive? Anything is better than annihilation. You may feel differently in a human cage. Leave. I have weapons to prepare. Where scorn go, he follows. As ever, I walk my own path. If I don't see you again, I will know another piece of old Reese is lost. A snap hiss, metal groans and shakes. You lead from a cage. You can't inspire us from a grave. I do what I can with what I have. Oh, wait a minute. Could this be Atrax? Because, like, I don't know, maybe I'm leaping, making a leap here. But, IX, that could be 9. Could be Atrax and Vesper's host be Atrax 9? I don't know, I think it's worth checking out. Huh. Who's she talking to? She's not talking to the 9. IX. Is there anything on Ishtar Collective? Varix? No. It's not Varix. So I typed in Ishtar, and there's a Varix entry, but when you open it, it just says 6, so it can't be Varix. Warren's not the one talking to her, right? IX. Who's IX? These are just books. These are books. Entry IX. Entry 9. Message from Arn... Wait, is it Arnor? Or is this... No, I think this is just... No, it's not about Arnor. They're just enumerating this. Savix Queenbreaker? No. Man, there's so much to look through. Messenger IX? No. Wait, hold on. This is the way that the 9 sent me. I mean, this was added in final shape. It was added in final shape, so maybe it's related? What do we look for? I don't know what to do, man. It's, This is my process for writing videos. I just play the game, I read some stuff. I reach, because this is me reaching. When the Yavik and Yivik thing, that's reaching. Nuclear powers beyond any they ever wielded. I don't know. Comparing Aramis to Skolas, who was like, you know, self-proclaimed Kell of Kells, and then you got the comparison to Chelchis from House of Stone. It's gotta be like relevant, man. It's Chelchis, Skolas, Axis. They're all like big players for Kell of Kells. So it must be Aramis. Aramis has to be Kell of Kells because, like, you know, if Mithrax is doomed to die, right? We don't know if he's gonna die. We're probably gonna get him better. We're probably gonna find out how to fix him, unless he becomes a monster. I don't know. That'd be terrible. Feel bad for him. But then, like, I guess Ido might be an heir to that, to the House of Light. Although I don't know. We don't know any more people inside the House of Light. We got Aramis down here. I think I already heard everything she has to say, but we'll pause the music and enable the audio on this.
I knew this was a trick. Your vanguard sent an agent down to manipulate and interrogate me. She asked me of my childhood, my parents, my hatchlings. She wanted me to talk about my pain. This psychological warfare will not work on me, Guardian. Tell your therapist that I see through her disguise. Her questions opened up too many old wounds to not be an attack.
Yeah, so I already heard this one. I think I already heard everything she has so far. She might have more stuff to hear in later acts or maybe next week. I don't know. But it's kind of crazy how they just leave her in here with like no supervision. Like there must be cameras somewhere, but like Really? She's just here, mega unsupervised. Cause like Mithrax is no condition to come down here. And Ido's not gonna do nothing. So, I don't know. Could be that maybe Fickrel finds a way to get in here. And he goes for the throw to Mithrax. So, maybe Aramis will defend him. I don't know, this year's all about blending that line between... Well, not blending it, but like, you know... the merging of light and dark. So maybe... maybe we do get the Echo this time. Maybe we will get the Echo. I mean, the Scorn are permanently changed already. So, we can't go this way, right? Nope. I don't know, man. There's a lot to theorize here. But, I think that's about it for me. Because, I can't think of anything else to talk about. Without more lore, I can't really... can't really think of it. Like, I could probably use this as a basis for a new video. But, I don't know. I'm interested in finding out what we can do. Right? So... we'll see. We'll see. But, I think we're done here. So we're gonna put on the be right back screen. I don't know. Who do you think it's gonna be? Is it gonna be Skolas? Is it gonna be Aramis, Fickrel, Mithrax? I don't know. Scorn Skolas, though. If they do that, they get a medal from me. But, yeah. I guess we're gonna end it here, then. Very interesting.